Mombasa, Kenya, a city by the Indian Ocean, whose strategic location has seen many such as the Arabs, Portuguese and British come and go for various reasons since the 14th century. The main business? Slavery. It is also here where the descendants of freed slaves were settled after slavery was abolished in 1873 through the signing of the Frere Treaty. The freed slaves were settled in Frere Town, a settlement aptly named after Sir Batu Frere, a colonial administrator who played a significant role in ending the slave trade. At the commencement of the British colonization in 1920, it is estimated that Freretown hosted about 100,000 descendants of freed slaves on 600 acres of land. Today, the narrative is different. There are about 5,000 families who are direct descendants of the freed slaves who now reside in the area but only occupy a mere 50 acres out of the original 600 that was set aside by the British colonialists for the former slaves. A vast majority of their descendants have been assimilated by larger neighboring ethnic communities such as the Mijikenda and the Swahilis. Subsequently, their cultural heritage and identity has been on the decline. As a minority, the Freretownians risk a potential danger of becoming extinct as they are not legally recognized as part of the 43 Kenyan tribes. Hence, the denotation, the 44th Forgotten Tribe of Kenya. The history of Freretown may be vanishing, but there are a few structures that serve as reminders of the past. Still standing tall is a bell structure that was erected and used to sound warnings when Arab slave ships were seen approaching Mombasa Island. Another one is the St. Emmanuel Anglican Church that was built by the freed slaves.
Jina langu ni Price Uledi. Ni mzaliwa wa Frere Town.
This is Mr. Price Uledi. He was born and raised in Freretown, and he is the community chairman. He is 75 years old. The bell structure behind him was used between 1845 to 1850 by his great-grandparents when they were settled in Freretown. This is the old Freretown. The new Freretown is about 4 kilometers from here. This bell has its history. It was constructed before the old Freretown church. The bell served a few purposes. The first one was to wake the people up to go to church and school. It used to be rung in such a way that every tone relayed a different message. For example, one tone would be used for church and another tone for school. It was also used as a sign to alert if a visitor or enemy entered the village. It also had its own tone that alerted the village elders of possible Arab attacks to take them back as slaves. It therefore warned them to come armed. Another tone of the bell signified in the village that there was a sick person who needed medical attention. This little town is almost 200 years old.
ambao wangekuwa wamepawa.
This park should serve as a historical center for our heritage, but it doesn't happen like that. We can put a monument to detail the history of Frere Town and maybe have a little fee that benefits the community. Anybody who wants to know the history of Frere Town can come here and learn about it. They can get a skeleton history that this was the first Frere Town, rather than what it is looking like right now. The place is dirty and the bell is being misused. So we should come together and think if we can come to an agreement to upgrade and know how the community can benefit and preserve our history. I say our culture is getting lost because many people who were captured along the East Coast were settled here. The Yao people, Nyasa, Nyamwezi, and even people from Mozambique. The white colonizers, however, refused our culture, and we had to follow their culture. Our great-grandparents were not allowed to speak their language, only English and Kiswahili. So, their cultures got lost. Even when I show you pictures from those days in the 1800s, you will see that the Freretown people were wearing three-piece suits that were unheard of in Kenya at that particular time. Even our tribal names were not allowed. We were given white names until the 60s during the independence. Then we had to enroll in school with our tribal names. Otherwise, my name was Price Haywood.